So very good morning to everyone. Today we are going to continue on a series of the three jewels. We started a few weeks back. We introduced you to the three jewels. They told you, then we discussed about who are the thieves of these three jewels. And today's session is all about keeping guard of these three jewels and how do we engage our guard to make sure that these three jewels are not lost. Before that, I would like to ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why India is so famous for these tikas? You have ever thought why they put tika? You see any function we have, tika is a must, right? Anything you do, and all are symbolic to something very, very important that we're going to learn today. Okay, and so today's topic is very, very important to let you know what Indian culture actually signifies and what its symbolism means. So today we're going to study about the guard to keep track and keep our jewels that are so precious for us safe so that we can display. What is the point of having a jewel which you cannot show to the world, right? You need to take them out, you need to display to the world. But the risk also is there that if the world sees that you have these jewels, they will want to snatch it away. Okay, so we need to have our jewels guarded from the thieves. And who are these thieves? We learned last time. They looked very innocent, right? When you look at it, you realize that over a period of time, these little cute things, harmless things, can actually turn to be very, very harmful. And we also learned how to manage them. Last time we said, okay, we need to, it's not something that you can escape from. You will have to live with them. But how do you keep them, the small, innocent ones, is up to you. How do you engage with them? Today, we're going to learn if these three thieves, they can, grow within us and they can take away our jewels. We should again go back to understanding what are the three jewels. You, your personality, and your association. When this is the case, what happens? Why is it there that you now suddenly need? We know that there are three things that are more precious to us. That's me, my personality, my association. And I know there are three thieves lurking inside me, waiting for a chance. As soon as I display my jewels, they are here to rob. Something is there within you, not outside. So these three thieves, they are to be guarded, and you need a guard. And for that guard, you need to understand what I said, that we have to, I'll show you a picture. Yeah, this is an ancient picture. This picture shows us that this is the wheel of life. So if you search, it's an ancient picture that is drawn in most of the Tibetan monasteries and everywhere, where they show the wheel of life. And at the center of all the wheel of life, they show these three thieves. So they are like in the jail, they are kept there. If they go out, finish. But they are the reason why we also exist. Okay, so you need to keep them confined, but letting them loose can also lead you to suffering. But if you look at this picture very, very clearly, while you see the rooster, the snake, and the pig together, you also should see what the picture, when I magnify this, you'll realize that this particular pig is actually holding on to the tails of the rooster and the snake. Did you see? Yeah. So that means this picture cannot be so complicated. You cannot have three things being robbing you. Actually, this is a gang, but the gang leader who controls these two is who? Ignorance. You see, the pig, it looks very simple, but it is the reason because of which these two work. Okay, now what are the one, to simplify this, one, the rooster basically is want, greedy, right? Keeps on picking. So the rooster is nothing but yes. Anything he sees crawling, it keeps on eating, right? Snake, no. It keeps always hiding, it lurking somewhere around. So it's a yes and no. But what will you say yes to? Something that you need, something that you're conditioned for, something that you're programmed for, something that you desire, something that your senses desire. So all these things, you close your eyes, you'll feel uncomfortable because your eyes need to see. So they want to just open up to see something. So now, yes and no, I agree. Okay, you like something, you dislike something. You have an aversion to something, okay, or you have a liking for something. But what is the base of that? The third one, when we should see the pig, doesn't know yes, doesn't know no, maybe this or that. And such a person is very risky. And so that is why you should be able to understand at the base of all the yes and no is what? Ignorance. But if you realize that all this is because this life is full of suffering and there should be a cause to this suffering. If there is a cause, there should be a way to end the cause, and there should be a path that we can follow so that we can end the cause, right, and get out of the suffering. If we know this, then our journey begins from ignorance to knowledge. You see, it's a journey, it's a path. And if there is a path, should be a method, there should be a technique. That is why we stress on our basic Shunya teaching. Our practice of Shunya is so important that it helps us understand that when you practice Shunya, you are actually walking the path. You're walking the path that will lead you from your ignorance to knowledge. Okay, because every time you practice, simple thing, when we do our red belt practice, when we sit down and we practice, we realize I'm missing counts. I'm not able to focus. For the first time, you have a diagnosis done for yourself. So when you look at the practice of Shunya, is so well designed, okay, by Buddha himself, that it makes our experience, okay, a learning experience very, very nice. So suddenly we move from ignorance to knowledge. And what is the guard that is doing that? So when you sit down and you practice, you don't want to lose your numbers, you don't want to lose your focus, you want to watch your breath, but something does distract. And who tells you this? Your guard. Who is your guard? Your awareness. Awareness sees, is continuously watching the thieves. Is it greed that is coming in? Is it aversion that is coming in? Is it ignorance that is coming in? Then we said, so when I don't know, then learn. Okay, when greed is coming in, you slow down. Okay, don't do too much, just do what is necessary sufficiently. When something comes in like where you don't like, you start enduring. So with all your dislikes will come endurance. With all your likes will come patience. Okay, and with all your ignorance will come knowledge, the experience. So our Shunya practice basically sets you up for the most vital ingredient that you require. That is the guard. It improves your guard. Now you have a guard, you have a good guard, but if this guard is never trained, he's not asked to do the walk every day, he's not watching everything, useless guard. We lose many things because we are unguarded. Now you should realize why in India the concept of tika, you remember we came up with this. Okay, you seen this? You see many people in India do this, right? This is why. Because keep your guard. Keep your third eye watching you, not only these two eyes. Okay, remember that when you go out, when you do activity, there is an awareness that watches you. When you do something, you engage with the world. You put a tika when you start something. Why? Because, hey, now I can see this. Not with these two eyes, with the wisdom eye. The eye that is in the center. That is why when we practice, we always say look 45 degrees. 45 degrees down is to cultivate that eye. We don't tell you to look with your this eye. We say just observe. Observe what? The breath. But what are you using to observe the breath? The guard, the awareness. The awareness keeps on watching. The guard doesn't participate. God doesn't tell, okay, let me pull your breath. Let me release your breath. It just watches, You do your activity. So this whole world or the universe works on a law. Otherwise, how can it work? It is in a loop. It keeps on doing some things repetitively. If there is no law, then it will be completely chaos, right? So you should understand that there is a law that governs all these things. And that is why if you want to know, you should understand this guard has to be trained. And our training system is basically on the four things. He should be trained in four things. We say the guard needs to watch the body as a body. He needs to know what is happening with my body, because that's where you exist, right? So you need to know this body, how is my body, whether I'm sitting straight or not. Because when we practice Shunya, sometimes people tend to, what they do is they just relax, okay, and they relax and just droop down, then their back is not straight. Doing like this is not the way. You have to be sitting straight. Okay, practice realizing the body as a body. You are that ingredient, and that is a very, very important part. Okay, then as you go to the second part, we also deal with the world, right? We deal with ourselves, with the world, and your personality is very much directly related to your feelings. Somebody who is emotionally too weak, will have a very different personality. These feelings that you get, you need to know how these feelings work. And if you can understand this, then you realize that all the things that you do, all the things you do in your life are driven by emotions. Doing an activity without emotion is not possible. We will always do. So here the guard is what? Again, watching an emotion. So emotions can only be foolish people's control, under foolish people's control. Why? Because ignorance. Because that thing, you are not even aware that there is something that is watching you. You are not the person who is taking the decision. This is not your property. Your guard needs to take care of your things and your three jewels. You, your personality, and your association. Make sure your guard watches them. So our four foundations are very important. Now all these four foundations also are the guard. The body basically is meant to protect you from getting sick, but once it is unguarded, it starts getting old faster, right? It starts getting sick faster. It gets disintegrates. So your body also should be on guard. Same is with your feelings. These feelings are meant to engage with the world. But if these feelings only go against you, imagine the guard going against you. The ones who are protecting, they only go against you, finish. So now your feelings should actually be protecting you. Emotions have to be practically driven, not emotionally driven, not foolishly, ignorantly driven. You have to apply them. Okay, so they make a lot of sense when you have to apply them. Then comes the mind. Mind is again need to be guarded or not? Very much to be guarded. And who guards it? The mind itself. Who guides the mind? We have to guide. We have to guard the mind, engaging the mind to guard the mind. When you look at the mind is basically going to get scattered, is not going to be in focus. So what we need to do is we need to train the mind. How do you train the mind? Very simple. Practice Shunya. With every reverse count, you watch the body as the body. Body is drooping, some problem. Sit straight again. Okay, when you see your feelings coming in, some scratching or something, you don't scratch. Just leave it like that. It will go away. Feelings come and they go. Okay, they are just feelings. Okay, then watch your mind. Mind, I'm telling you to count 9 to 0. You cannot finish that. You cannot even watch. I'm telling you, what kind of a guard are you? So when you observe the mind is also being trained. Trained mind, now the mind is able to focus. Because it is able to focus, it can achieve good results, right? And then last, what we say is your dharma, means your nature. Understand what you are, what your job is, what's your duty. When you realize this is my duty, what's your duty now? Remember these guards, wherever the thieves are, if the thief is here, you should shoot that. If you should here, everywhere, the thief will also say, wow, what a guy I've got, This guard, I can run away from him like this, no need to worry. People have been looted of their three jewels. Everything was right. Body was right. Feelings were managed. Mind not able to focus. Finish. Sometimes the emotions are right. The mind is also focused. The nature is also good. Everything he knows his duty. But body does not support. Finish. Right? Then your body is right. Feelings go for a toss. Mind is focused, and your nature, still you get lost. So always remember, you can lose your jewels when anything of these four foundations. I keep on reminding you that your foundations are the basis, they are the guard. Understanding that we are basically in the wheel of life. Okay, we all have the basis of suffering, rooted in three things. What are greed? That is because we like something. Our Aversion, because we dislike something. And third, the boss of all of them, ignorance. I don't know. Your ignorance, the pig itself, is the reason from which you hold on to all these things. Once the pig lets loose of the rooster's tail and the snake's tail, if it lets loose, just open the mouth and let it go away, then greed will go away, then your hatred and envy will go away, then everything will go away. So we all say, your two things, your likes and dislikes, are the two things that are based on ignorance. Now, that means if I don't know to make choices between what I like and what I don't like, I'm always going to be in a state of confusion. You see, ignorant people are confused. They are at the mercy of somebody who knows. And do you think a person who knows is always right? So there are two types of people, knowers. One who know that I want this, one who know I don't want this. You understood? So everybody, even the knowers, are of two types, right? Yes and no. Okay, now, if you are going to go to the one who's saying yes, 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 all your things will be yes. If you go to the one who says no, 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 all your things will be no, no, no. You cannot do that. You have to strike the right balance. Apply that wisdom, where to say yes and where to say no. So then your right and wrong decision depend on what? Your action. Okay. When you take a wrong decision, you suffer. When you take your right decision, you are happy. Right? Now, right and wrong depend on your experience. So when you act. Now, when you take a wrong decision, okay, you also get the wrong qualities within you. You get a wrong body. You have wrong feelings. You have a wrong mind. You have a wrong concept of your dharma, your nature. So make sure that you cultivate enough awareness that you start knowing things. How will you know things? Only and only through one simple process. What is that process called? It's called seeking knowledge. Knowledge can be sought in two ways. Listen to people who have experienced something. Second, go and experience it yourself.
स्पेक्ट्रो इंडिया पूरी दुनिया में ये स्प्रेड होगा. When India started to practice Sunya, जब इंडिया ने प्रैक्टिस करना शुरू